Howard Nima of We Are Change Connecticut, wearechangect.org, and this is Truth Talk News. What is the Trans-Pacific Partnership? It's very hush-hush. They mention it in the news, but they never go into the details about it. Well, like most of these free trade agreements, they're being sold as a way to improve job growth and economic prosperity for the middle class, while they siphon off the wealth of the middle class to the upper echelons of the pyramid of evil. This is what has been going on for the last 60 years, while the sheep have been allowing it to happen, watching it happen, denying it's happened, and the widest gap in history since the 1920s, since 1928, okay, when the wealthiest had the money and the poor and middle class were at the bottom. The gap is the same. Before the Great Depression, they had increased the use of margin loans so the average American can become wealthy. And they sold it in the media, and Edward Bernays and all of his lovely propaganda, how everybody can get a piece of the market. For only $10, you can get $100 worth of stock. For $100, you can get $1,000 worth of stock. And millions did. The same thing happened in 1999 when Bill Clinton signed the Community Reinvestment Act, making it easier for low-income and minorities to buy homes. It paved the way for greed and corruption in the mortgage business. And of course, we cannot forget the year before, in 1998, Clinton repealed Glass-Steagall, allowing the banks to rape and pillage the markets, manipulating them, building up this tremendous upside with these derivatives of worthless debt being sold, crushing the markets. The beginnings of this crisis began in the subprime mortgage market, which was the market for low-income and credit-challenged homeowners who Clinton made easier to buy homes from. Ultimately, Bank of America was caught cutting and pasting mortgages, and there's still litigation against them. It goes on and on. All Wells Fargo, all of these Federal Reserve crime syndicate banks are responsible. And these insider politicians from the Council on Foreign Relations and these Rhodes Scholars that are in our government are all working for an Anglo-American one-world government. And the Trans-Pacific Partnership is a big part of it. Now, this has been going on silently, as I mentioned, just as though we talk about NAFTA. Remember NAFTA? Well, that big sucking sound has been heard. And what was a promise of creating 170,000 jobs has resulted in the loss of 770,000 jobs and major corporate profits. And again, the money going funneling to the top. So like NAFTA, the Trans-Pacific Partnership is paving the way for global government. All of these free trade agreements, starting with the Treaty of Rome in 1958, which was the birth of the European Union. And the EU is expanding its influence. There is going to be 10 regions. And the Trans-Pacific Partnership is the Asia region, the Pacific region. Then we have the North American Union, which has been worked upon since Clinton's administration. Trade agreements in place. We have this open borders. They're planning on privatizing all the resources. And it's happening right before our eyes. A good example of the silent treatment that the media is giving to this is that we hear nothing of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. If I asked anyone to hear about it, most average American won't even know what it is. Well, what it is a secret trade pact being negotiated completely outside of law, with no congressional authority, but with the aim of forcing nations around the world to ban GMO labeling, embrace Monsanto's GMO crops, and keep pharmaceutical prices artificially high to enrich the world's medication monopoly. A purely executive creation of the Office of the United States Trade Representative, it was created out of law with zero public accountability. The TPP involves White House loyalists running around the world, strong-arming over a dozen nations into signing on to a corporate domination agreement misnamed free trade. Again, another deception. Details of the Trans-Pacific Partnership are so secret that even members of Congress are not allowed to review them or disclose them. What we know about the TPP has only come from leaks, as the full text of the entire agreement is being kept not only from Congress, but also the American people. Remember the whole thing with Obamacare? You gotta pass it so we can read it and know what's in it? These are criminals, blatant, absolutely brazen criminals. And the sheep just don't resist. They'll take everything from you. Anyway, you might as well put up a fight. Because what these psychopaths are planning is to homogenize the world to the way they wish to see it, to reduce the population and get rid of the dregs on society, quote unquote, and breed a perfect race of people. Does this sound familiar? Hitler wasn't alone. You think Hitler was the only person that thought about this master race? No, the master race, the eugenics movement. Hitler was inspired by the eugenics movement. He was inspired by the works of people like Margaret Sanger, who created Planned Parenthood with funding from the Rockefeller Foundation. They embrace these people. The writings of these people are these eugenicists in the Cold Spring Harbor Eugenics Office. It's just unbelievable what they think about, how they have to get rid of people that are slow, people that are prone to abuse, violence, drug abuse. The answer for the eugenicists is to get rid of them. John P. Holdren wrote a book called Ecoscience about the population problem. They made movies starting in the 1970s, all about the cataclysms of overpopulation.
Nothing runs anymore.
Movies like
works.
The Omega Man and Soylent Green and The Last Child and
What they need most is Soylent Green.
Logan's Run. All to prop up the subconscious acceptance of this problem and to glamorize it. Of course, they always glamorize it. They always make a likable character the President of the United States. You know, Morgan Freeman as the first black president when he was in Deep Impact, and then this whole idea of these cataclysm movies, and they're giving away a lot of information. This is called predictive programming, and it's real and it exists. But what we have here is another example of the elite pulling the strings of our own Congress. And they're compliant because of who they are beholden to through their campaign finances and their special interests that got them into power and want to keep them in power. So the answer to this whole thing is everybody serves a term. Maybe they should constitutionally change the term to 6 years for all. So then you don't have 6 years, that's it. So there is no reason to, that gives you plenty of time. If you can't get your thing done in 6 years, your protocols, well, you gave it a good shot.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think there should be any, I think you should be able to run once. None of these organizations, these New World Order institutions, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission that bring up all these people, they can't get all their control if you only have one term. They can't put in place these protocols that they've been doing for the last 50 years with these compliant puppet candidates that we all get. No, everybody knows it. Everybody knows, oh, this is a dumb choice. It's not even a choice. Most people don't even vote because of it. which is also part of the plan. If you keep the polls down, or if you pump the polls up with people like the left do, when they, because this whole thing is leftist based. Okay, the whole thing is socialist totalitarian government is where we're going here. World socialist totalitarian government. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, you have to research this. Google Trans-Pacific Partnership. The details are so secret. We have 600 corporate CEOs, including CEOs of companies that have been repeatedly found guilty of felony crimes in America, being allowed to influence the details of these trade agreements, of this particular trade agreement. Monsanto, Walmart, and big pharma corporations are reportedly given top influence positions in this super secret Obama organization that hands the future of the world over to the most evil corporations of all time. The countries currently involved in the Trans-Pacific Partnership include the United States, Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. More are being bullied into signing the agreement with each passing month. Although the exact language of the Trans-Pacific Partnership is tightly protected secret, it is reported that the TPP will require dropping of all bans of GMO. We have this movement, grassroots movement, to ban these poisons, these cancerous, sterilizing poisons. Now read Ecoscience by John P. Holdren. Flat out says they have to put sterilants in the water and food supply. I mean, these people have a plan, and they've been working this plan for 100 years. And it's going to continue until they reach their perfect world with the perfect amount of people they can control, all who think the way they want them to think. And life is just a pleasant reality for those who embrace the New World Order. For those who want freedom and liberty and understand that without being enslaved, albeit seductively through stimulations. While you're enjoying your stimulation, you're being enslaved. While you're enjoying your football games and your videos and your movies and everything else, and all the things you work all week to go and do, to pay for those things. With all the little bumps and surges, there's little bubbles that they create to give a little image and illusion of growing prosperity, and things will always be prosperous. They just build it up to another bubble and crush it, and each time they crush it, the people are hurt even more. And more people fall into poverty, and they take more and more wealth. And then they put more and more programs out. I mean, they're doing flu shot campaigns now because it's the fall. CVS will give you a 20% off your shopping trip at CVS, non-pharmaceutical, if you get a flu shot. That's covered by insurance, of course. All flu shots are covered by insurance, okay? There is an agenda to depopulate the world. And the elite have taken a position of now that China and India are who they're building up, while they deindustrialize America down to size. We're too big. They don't like that. We could be the greatest country in the world. But we're not. We're not in healthcare. We're not in education. We're the laughing stock. We're good at making war. We're good at imperialism and making corporations wealthy, but and dumbing down the population in the process. The Trans-Pacific Partnership will be another nail in the coffin of freedom. Don't be sheeple, people. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Go to wearechangect.org. I'm Howard Nima. Thank you for watching Truth Talk News, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story. For more truth, subscribe to Freedom First Films on YouTube and Truth Talk News on livestream.com.